Howdy, this is Barry Tipton, the food dude. We call this horse old golf cart. I'm still a cowboy, and I'm still in the food business. I'm in the food business because I hadn't been able to make a living as a cowboy in a long time. My land development business has disintegrated in the last 3 years. I'm nobody, folks. I'm just a poor old country boy trying to make a living and provide for my family. In my opinion, that's a good thing. Now today I want to talk to you about what inflation is going to do to your ability to provide a nutritious meals to your family. There's a lot of us that ain't going to be eating quite as good as we used to, and maybe not quite as often. Oh, it's coming all right, this big inflation. Now you can choose to ignore reality, but I'll guarantee you won't be able to ignore the consequences of reality. You don't even want to know how much horse feed costs these days. But hey, don't believe me, watch this.
Inflation is about to get out of control in the United States. Nothing less than the Great Collapse.
It's going to be a hyperinflationary Great Depression in the United States. I'm not looking for a hyperinflation in Canada. The hyperinflation in the United States is due to really decades of extraordinary fiscal abuse.
And David Walker, the Comptroller General of the United States. That's the government's accountant-in-chief.
Daunting fiscal reality.
For the last few years, he's been going around the country telling anyone who'll listen that we're headed for an economic train wreck of catastrophic proportions.
The economy's still turning down. The solvency crisis is getting worse. The Fed is already into quantitative easing too, and we're beginning to see the effect of inflation from that. And that will eventually evolve into a hyperinflation.
Hold cash today is as risky as holding equities, commodities, or real estate, according to our next guest.
Your cash purchasing power diminishes over time, like the US dollar is weak. That's a symptom of inflation. It's not to have deflation really in a system, you would have to have a strong currency. As long as the currency is weak, it's a symptom of inflation.
From a personal perspective, there's action you can take to protect yourself. In the U.S., we don't have a backup system. So it's very difficult when food starts to disappear from store shelves. But it's probably a good idea to store goods that you would normally consume for several months, just to protect yourself, your family, and to have goods for barter.
There's no other way around it. If we maintain the proposals which are in this budget, over the 10-year period that this budget covers, this country will go bankrupt. People will not buy our debt, our dollar will become devalued. It is a very severe situation.
Weakness in the dollar is what will kill the system here. It's what will trigger the early signs of a hyperinflation, which, as you mentioned, could be as early as the next 6 to 9 months.
Ha ha ha. Printing money. Didn't I learn from the Weimar Republic that printing money is a bad thing? Because doesn't that lead to massive inflation?
Timing, but watch the dollar, watch for a panic there. If it gets out of control, you'll see massive dumping of dollars. The Fed will be intervening even more than it is now. People are going to be turning over dollars as quickly as they can. They're not going to want to hold them. Prices will skyrocket. We're going to see this in the next couple of months, starting with gasoline and food prices.
What's driving commodities is inflation. It's governments around the world, particularly the Federal Reserve, creating too much money, debasing the value of the dollar. You know, as we speak, the dollar is at an all-time record low against the Swiss franc today. It's at an all-time record low against the Australian dollar. You need $30 to buy an ounce of silver. You need about $1,400 to buy an ounce of gold. You almost need $14 to buy a bushel of soybeans. You've never seen these prices. The economy's not going to strengthen, especially with rising inflation and ultimately rising interest rates. There are a lot of people that are jumping to the false conclusion that rising interest rates or rising commodity prices somehow indicate that the economy is going to strengthen. They don't indicate that at all. They indicate more inflation.
Remember, inflation is too many dollars chasing too few goods. There's too many dollars. After printing 13% more money for 2 years in the 1970s, we had runaway inflation of 12%. That's a lot here in the United States. So Volcker had to raise the interest rate to pull that 13% back. Do you have any idea how much we've increased the money supply? 120%. So how do you do it? Because everything will stop. How do you keep an economy based on buying, not building, on buying? You can't. How do you get out of this system? Because you're going to have inflation. How do you do it? Look at the debt clock. Once again, they're only saying Almost $12 trillion at the top, but the whole number is about $343,000 per citizen. There's no way to pay that off.
Now, don't any of y'all email me or call me telling me I'm trying to capitalize on the fear factor. I freely admit it. I'm capitalizing on a really sorry situation. I'm an independent affiliate of eFoods Global, the world's largest and best maker of high-quality, nutritious food reserves for Americans. 88 cents per serving. 88 cents. Everything is packaged in Mylar pouches and stores for 15 to 20 years. No MSGs, no trans fats, all certified kosher, and it's all vegetarian. Now go to the link, www.goodfooddeals.net, or type that into your browser. Now that's .net, not .com. The 88 cents per serving is going to look real good pretty soon. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm going to put old golf cart up now. I'm going to go play golf. Besides, they won't let golf cart out on the golf course. Hey, thanks for watching. Adios.
Let's go into that. What are the concrete steps that you think people should be undertaking, both as investors, but maybe as simply as survivors?
You can use common sense, but it's probably a good idea to store goods that you would normally consume for several months, just to protect yourself, your family, and to have goods for barter.